from the Petty Corner. I'm Petty Diana, and today I have John the Magician Dodson here with me today. Welcome back to the Petty Corner, John.
Oh, thank you for having me on. It's amazing.
Of course. So last time we spoke, it was right before you went to Japan to have a fight. You have so many life changes since then. Chelsea did Power Slap. You went to the BKFC conference. You just became head of Wicked. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm the North American Distributor for Wicked, helping out with my buddy Mark.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I need to get some gear. I told my kids about it when I came home, and I showed them, and my son won't stop asking me, so I'm gonna have to go cop some stuff for him. But how have you been since your fight?
I've been amazing, waiting to go ahead and figure out what the hell's going to go on with me since I found out they were having an interim title while I was out in Japan. It kind of lit a fire on my ass, and I want to go ahead and knock some people out now.
I love it. Okay, yeah. So you went to the conference and you kind of spoke about it a little bit when it was your turn on the mic, and then Dave was asked about it in the post-show conference. So what are your thoughts on the whole interim thing? Because I don't understand it, but it might not be for me to understand, but I just kind of wanted to get your side because I did speak to Dave, and that was up on my page when Bare Knuckle came to Salt Lake City as well. I think he was saying because you were fighting in other promotions, so they did an interim, but now that the interim has gone on, I guess I just want to get your thoughts on why they did the interim and the interim fight, because that was kind of crazy there too.
Well, so all of that is kind of like the weirdest thing ever to say because Dave sent me out to Japan to go ahead and do bare knuckle for Ryzen. And I went out there promoting bare knuckle so it could be out there across into the rising sun. Have Japanese fans love bare knuckle. They love me. They love Takeya Soya, and they're like, hell yeah, we can go ahead and have the both of them fight, do bare knuckle fight, and let's go ahead and do this. And while I went out there, I sat there representing the company, and I was still waiting for me to go ahead and get a chance to go ahead and defend the title here in the United States, since I wasn't allowed to defend it out there in Japan. So I was like, all right, then we can do whatever you guys want to do. We'll figure this out. And then I was just sitting twiddling my thumbs for like ever, all the way up until like March. And then they're like, hey, since you don't have no fight scheduled, do you want to fight an MMA fight? And I was like, sure, I'll take that one too. And then Dave was like, see, we told you. You're the one who said they want to go ahead and like leave us. And I was like, no, you guys haven't scheduled me nobody. I've asked to fight everybody on the roster. And you guys keep on saying, no, it's not. That's not what we want to do right now. So I was like, okay. I even asked to fight Andrew Strode and G. And they're like, no, they're not ready for you. And then those two were fighting for an interim title. Kind of pissed me
Yeah,
off.
I mean, yeah, I can understand your frustration. But I mean, we can't change what has happened, but they did fly you out for the conference, and you got to watch the interim fight play out. It turned out to be a no contest, and then like a day or two later, they overturned it, and they crowned an interim champ. So have you spoken to the promotion since then? Like, are you fighting the interim champ, or are they set on running that match back with G and Strode?
I better be fighting the interim champion because it was the point of them fighting again for second place. Like that's dumb. Like let them try to fight for gold, and I can beat up Andrew Strode, and then those two can go ahead and run it back as soon as I get done knocking out Andrew. And if not, then I can go ahead and knock out Andrew, and then go ahead and fight G, and then they can go ahead and fight again, fight each other to see who's gonna fight me again.
I
That's
love
how I
it.
see it.
What did you think of their fight? I know it got stopped early because of the earlobe thing. That was pretty gruesome. But what did you think about them like fighting each other, like their fight?
G was dominating the first few rounds, and that lucky punch that cut his ear cemented his loss. And Andrew Strode was sitting there saying that how he was putting hands on G, and I was like, man, you weren't watching the same fight the rest of the world was watching, because in your head you were landing everything, but and realistically you were just eating every shot.
Yeah. What do you think about them over like them calling it a no contest and then overturning it the next day, or a day or two later?
When it called it no contest, I damn near cried. I was like, I'm gonna wait again because these two are gonna have to run this back for me to get an opponent, and they're sitting there trying to hold me up, like just hold me hostage to doing nothing. I don't want to be sitting on the bench doing absolutely nothing. I want to fight everybody. And Dabaghetto keeps on sitting there acting like he wants to fight, but he hasn't been around either. That dude fled to his own country and just stayed in his stayed out there in the DR and don't want to even come back to the United States. So he can't run his mouth saying, "Oh, you said you will fight me anywhere." I was like, "Bro, I've been trying to fight you for months, years. Like at this point, like you're doing nothing but running." Like if you're that
And
afraid of fighting me, I mean, it's perfectly fine with me.
and he's the one that you had a draw. That was your only draw, right?
Yeah, I mean, I should have won because like at the end, in the fourth round, he was spitting out his mouthpiece and trying to do everything else possible to go ahead and secure more time and not get knocked out. He knew he was done. If New Mexico would have implemented the sudden death round, I would have won that whole fight by knockout. If they, because I would put him to sleep in that sixth round. But it's okay. I can wait for our next sixth round, which will be the first round, and I'll put him to sleep.
Is that kind of like cheating though? Like, I know in boxing we see that, and they call it like a veteran move to like buy yourself time. But don't they start deducting points for that?
Yeah, you're supposed to be deductive point or even be considered as a foul. And it's actually showing that you are not being the aggressors. Like spitting out your mouthpiece means that you no longer want to fight. So in our world of like bare knuckle, mixed martial arts, that's considered you just being, you've already done. You threw in the towel yourself. Like it's not like it got knocked out. You forcibly spit it out. That means you don't want to fight no more.
Yeah. So if you had your chance to pick your opponent, I know the interim champ has been crowned, but we just had three names thrown out. Like, who would you want next, and when would you want to come back to bare knuckle?
I would want to fight Andrew Strode, hopefully in August, and then G next. And then if Double Garo wants to fight, I can beat him up later.
Hey, Sturgis is like this weekend, so I
Yeah,
don't
I
know if they
know.
can make that happen.
I mean, if something magically happened where they needed a 25er, I'm always ready to cut the weight, and I'm always ready to knuckle somebody's face in.
I love it. Yeah. And then like I said, you had so much go on since your last fight. You've been like basically everywhere. Chelsea got a last minute call to power slap. What was that like for you? I spoke to her about her experience, being the spouse, and then I've seen stuff online, and then you're coming to, fight everyone off for like talking shit
Pretty
and stuff. But
much.
like, what was that experience like for you?
It was for me. I've always used to being able to take last minute fights. Anytime they need me to fight anywhere, I was always down. It didn't matter what weight class, I would always do it. And that was the same thing for her for this one. She got a last minute call. She was like, "All right, I gotta cut this weight, and we gotta go." So, okay, cool. We went out there. We tried to do our best to cut the weight the night before, and then we were doing as much as we could the day of weigh-ins. Like we literally started with cutting weight the day of weigh-in at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then try to cut like 14 pounds so she can make the weight.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. But then there was so much stuff online afterwards too, and I see you coming over here, popping off, and she made that reel, and everyone's like, "Yeah, John."
Hell yeah, because like when she got her nose broken, I tried jumping over the barricade, and the guy grabbed me, and I was like, "You better let go of me, or I'm gonna send you to the hospital with her." And he was like, "No, no, but you don't pay my bills." I was like, "You're gonna have to find somebody who's gonna pay your bills because this is gonna be real fucked up in a second. Because I gotta go over to mend to her." And he was like, and they're like, "John, just come this way." I was like, "You are lucky. You almost died. A midget would have killed you."
Yeah, I mean, I understand their point of view. They're just doing their job, but at the same time, it's like, if that was my husband and like something happened to him, I would like be fighting to the end of the earth to get on the other side of that barrier.
Yeah. And Isaiah was in my way. You see me shove him out of the way. I was like, "Get out of my way."
I hope they got it on video when the security grabbed you, because that was kind of funny. But yeah. So, okay, so we went over like your opponents, the online shit talking, everything. Are you done with MMA, or are you still kind of doing both?
I am not done with MMA. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a short break. Like I
Hmm.
got a chance to go ahead and I have an opportunity to be a dual champion in two different sports. I want to be able to do the exact same thing. I just want to silence the crowds here in the United States for bare knuckle because of the fact that they keep on thinking I'm running away from fights when I've been literally throwing myself at the doorstep to Dave and everybody else in them, and they keep on just telling me no. So I want to go ahead and secure as many victories as possible in bare knuckle, and then go back into MMA.
Speaking of securing all the victories, during the conference, Conor McGregor and Dave Feldman had announced that the champions get like part stake or like ownership. Are you allowed to speak on those details or no?
Well, I haven't even seen the contract, but what they sat there and said is I got to defend the title 10 times, so I need 9 more victories to go ahead and be a millionaire.
Dang.
Because what he said
Do they
out
give
there
you like partial for like every defense? Do you get like an extra bonus or anything like that? Or you're
so
not really sure yet?
I have no idea. But what was said at the conference is that we can go ahead if you are one of the champions who gets get the title and then hold it for one time, you get $1,000 or not thousand, $100,000 if the company is $1 billion. So if it's $1 billion corporation, your retirement funds will become $1,000 once you became a champion. But defending it, therefore, out there, you can go ahead and make up until $1 million plus once you got 10 victories underneath your belt. So I was like, okay, so we have to
Wow.
wait for two things. One, me getting my other fights, and then two, this becoming into a $1 billion corporation.
Wow. It seems like a lot of moving parts, but I believe in it. I do think that they may have the right intentions there, because there's not a lot of companies that do that. So I'm excited to see how it pans out, and I hope it works well in your favor.
Well, me too, because of the fact that they have bringing in such a great opportunity. So them actually making sure that the fighters can have a retirement fund. They weren't going to be doing the same thing like what's going on with that UFC, where the UFC is being sued from the fighters lawsuit, that Chung Lee's lawsuit that they're going through, and everyone's fight to get their hands on money for it. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. And that should be paying out soon. It was like a really like a couple years lawsuit, and it's finally like went through. I've seen. I don't know if people have been starting to get paid yet, but Mike Connell's been vocal about how he turned the money down, and people were kind of like ragging on him. But I think it's like over now, and everyone knows like how much they're gonna get or whatever the case is. But I
Yeah.
think it's kind of cool that they're trying to help set you guys up for the future.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for it because of the fact that a lot of us have blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of them don't have like the retirement funds. They don't have a backup plan or plan anything after fighting. Like a lot of us don't have anything going for them, and they put in no real investments. Like if they were business partners and business savvy, they'd be like owning another company, running another gym, or even selling new gear for a different gear. You know, a brand that everyone else needs to go ahead and see. I mean,
Yes. Hey, do you have any codes or anything that you can drop to give them? Like, do you have like codes for discounts or anything that you can drop in here?
if
And
you
I'll
guys
put the
go to,
link in this description.
yes, they go to
What is
Wicked
it?
One. They go to NVMMA. Is that's going to be the code link? Just go to the Wicked One US and just enter that code in there, and they'll hop, and you get 15% off of any off your entire purchase.
I love it. See, I'm gonna use that code because my son has been bugging me like nonstop, and he still wants to spar you.
Anytime. I told him, I was like, if you want to come out here, I'll train you, I'll house you, and everything, and beat you up. And he goes, what? I was like, yeah, because you're gonna need a quick nap first, and then we can go back into sparring again. He goes, ah.
No, he's like, when is John Dodson coming out here? Because Bare Knuckle's supposed to come out here like a bunch of times and stuff. So he just thinks that you're coming here automatically. He's like, when are they coming out here? So I could spar him. Okay, but over the weekend you just had two fighters. I believe it was two in Anthony Pettis Fight Championship, and
Yes.
one was the
I,
co-main event.
mhm.
Yes, it seems like he's on a very like a trajectory to make it even further than that. What is it like cornering people, and how did you think of their performances this weekend?
So I have three fighters fighting on Anthony Pettis fighting championships. Two of them won, and then one of them lost. So one of my dudes got TKO'd in the first round, but then my other two just demolished their dudes in the first round, the exact same fashion. Like cornering people is amazing because I like to see how well these guys can go, like pretty much how much they've been training and how they want to go do this and see their own unique styles, like their personalities come to life when they're in the cage or in the cage ring, whatever. And with Jalen, he's just such a showman. He wants to go ahead and entertain a crowd and keep on trying to draw you guys in. Like, oh, I might get hurt. I might get finished. And then all of a sudden he's subbing the dude and he goes, I told you I had this totally under control. I was like, Jalen, shut up. And
So
then,
being on Fight Pass though, I feel like the next kind of steps, it's like that's kind of like when you're on UFC Fight Pass, it's kind of like they're looking at you to get into the UFC next, and you have those kind of performances. So like, what would be next for Jalen?
to be honest, Probably needs one more. So be if he can go ahead and go back and get that title for the APFC, because they have their welterweight title. It's been heavily protected, and we want to go out there and be knocking on Fort Knox and getting the gold. After that,
I love it.
the two guys that he actually lost to in LFA have been having phenomenal careers in the UFC right now. Like they're currently all together like 17-2. So Jalen knows he has that potential. He was beating up these two dudes before like he ended up getting knocked out by them. So he knows
Yeah.
what he has to do, and what he wants to do is to get onto the bigger stage, give the chance and opportunity to go ahead and represent himself and keep on knocking that doors for that title shot.
Hey, Dana White Contender Series is coming up. So, I mean, you never know. We've seen people get last minute calls for that. So tell them to stay ready.
I was trying to make sure I can get him ready, and also my youngster Brendan Johnson. He ended up going out there for his second MMA fight, and he was all happy trying to stun on this dude. He took his dude down, and then tried to do something that he watched on YouTube. He was trying, I'm gonna go with a heel hook, and I'm gonna hit him with an Achilles lock. I was like, why? Why are you doing that? Because I just thought it would be funny. This crazy dude.
He's been watching that Walker guy too much. Like the guy that got 3 heel hooks in his last three
Oh, yeah.
fights.
Actually, no, his opponent got finished by an Achilles lock, so he was like, I'm gonna finish him with the leg lock too. I was like, how disrespectful is it to go ahead and lose your next fight by the exact same submission as your first one? I was like, dude,
Yeah.
that's not how
Was
we
that your
want to be
first
thinking about it.
time? Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Was
no,
that
go.
your first time ever being involved with Anthony Pettis fight card or fight championship?
Yeah, it was my first time being for the APFC, because Anthony Pettis is always out there doing Milwaukee, and he's such a lifestyle out there, and he's a cool dude. Like when I used to train with him, he was just one of the guys that always want to be creative and keep playing around and messing around with new things, and who never wanted to go ahead and try to bully his people, but he wanted to go ahead and like be more creative and elevate their styles. So he was a cool dude about
Yeah.
doing everything.
Yeah. I can't wait to see like how his promotion expands. I'm like, please come to Utah. But I've been like seeing it on Fight Pass and stuff, and it seems like it's very well organized, and he's doing like a great thing for pro fighters coming up.
Well, not just the pros, he also and on the amateur side, because a lot of those amateurs they might not have been on Fight Pass, but they were on the YouTube part of it. So they had like a mini undercard for it, and all those youngsters got the taste of it, the feel of it. They had the walkout entrance, and they got hyped up. Even though they did interviews as if they were a pro fight going into right after their victories.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any sponsors that you want to shout out?
Shout out to Bucked Up. Those dudes are always amazing. Thank you guys for always sitting there, getting my laugh all bucked up every day, any day of the week. And the other sponsor is OnlyFans. I know you're not taking a peek at my magic stick, but we are going to show you guys how to do some tips, give you some tips and tricks on how to become a better fighter.
Love it. Hey, maybe you can give him some like parkour ninja training tips too.
Oh, if I actually do that, somebody's gonna be like super mad at me. No pun intended. Like, why are you jumping off
And
the
you know
roof?
what?
I was like, because it was fun.
Hey, Bucked Up is out here in Utah. Have you ever been to the headquarters?
No, I haven't been out to the Bucked Up headquarters. Sadly enough, I haven't come to see my friend out there. She's like an amazing human being, and she don't ever like invite me to stay over or nothing. That's okay. One of these days,
Hey,
I have like a family
hey,
trip.
my door's always open to you guys, and Chelsea knows that.
We're not saying who it is.
Okay, so you must have been talking about slaps into his wife. You're talking about Allie. We live like 20 minutes away from each other, maybe 15.
That's even funnier.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, John, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time. I cannot wait to see you defend your belt in BKFC.
Because I got the gold one. They got the silver one.
I can't wait to see what's next for you. Thank you, John.
Oh.